It's one of the most desired and contested pieces of waterfront property in San Diego today. At present, 3 different special interest groups competing for a piece of the pie. After 4 years of planning and listening, none of those groups is getting exactly what they wanted from the city, and that includes the historic Campland on the Bay.
So right now there's 1,000 campsites and between Campland and Mission Bay RV, and the De Anza natural plan is a 50% reduction, so down to only 500. So we are disappointed.
Without question, Campland is taking the biggest hit under the so-called De Anza natural plan on Mission Bay, not only losing about half the campsites, but forced to relocate next door to make room for additional marshland. Also, when this happens, the marshland will occupy the Campland Marina, removing all the motorboats from this part of the bay.
That kind of doesn't really comply with what we think of as Mission Bay, with lots of motorized boats. There's waves that come in from any type of boating, and also marshlands can handle a lot of different storm systems. So we are hoping that that issue can be reevaluated so that there can be motorized boats for campers.
One of the major motivations for expanding the wetlands is the environment and climate goals. At one point, this entire bay was marshland, Mother Nature's giant water filter.
This little piece of tidal wetland that remains in Mission Bay, this 40 acres here behind me, is the last piece of what used to be a 4,000 acre wetland complex. So this is all we have left.
From an environmental point of view, there is no such thing as too much marshland. The group called Rewild Mission Bay would like to carpet the entire bay with wetlands, but the city didn't go nearly that far.
The Planning Commission passed the city's plan, and that plan includes 250 acres or so of restored tidal wetland, and much of that will be lost as sea levels rise. So the city is planning for almost 80 acres of this habitat to remain as sea levels rise.
For the very concerned Mission Bay golf community, the new plan would leave the golf course alone, at least for now. But there is nothing in writing to stop the city from changing that in the future and gobbling up a few holes for marshland. Things are changing out here, slowly but surely, and people are already reminiscing about the good old days.
And even myself, I remember my best friend learned how to ride her bike here. When we were 7 or 8, even when we lived in Northern California, we came down and enjoyed San Diego and stayed at Campland, coincidentally. So it's very special to me, but I also think that a lot of families have a story like that, and we are doing our best to preserve as much camping as possible.